Merhaba hanımefendiler ve küçük beyefendiler. Sherlock Holmes'un yeni bölümüne hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Önceki bölümle bu bölüm arasında bayağı 1,5 hafta falan var. En son ne bok yedim ben de hatırlamam. En son buraya gelmişiz, burada bırakmışız. Bir tık geriden aldım kendim için. Biraz oynadım. Bu da bir hırsız, yok hırsızlık değil de bir nedir ya? Burada bir patırtı kütürtü olduğunu, en sonunda burada bir yangın çıktığını ve yangında bazı eserlerin yandığını söyledi bize. Evet.
Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache.
Bak.
Coal fingerprints.
Dur.
I think we're
Matkap
looking
tabii
for
ya.
a man with a coal moustache. A Malpalbut. Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing.
Doğru. Buna da en son bakacağım.
The parasites of creativity. Or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interest. Saturn devouring his son.
Satır
Grim
tabii ya.
composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
Ya bu da çok güzelmiş.
Sodden and mold-ridden. One presumes deliberately.
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken, John. A handprint of the thing from another world. Plus it looks fresh and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane.
Ben zaten eserin kendisi böyle zannediyorum.
A true artist never shows an unfinished piece.
Kürek zaten
Old
istisnasız.
and hasn't been used for a long time. The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame. Closed with a metal bolt.
Oha.
Footprints. Size 9.5.
Tabii ya. Mıknatıs da sürgüye açtı. Peki. Fazla değil. Ama dur. Galiba ben bir haftadır oynadım. Babacım bak bu adam geldi. Tamam. O sırada dedi buraya. Hah. Bu odaya giriyor. Bizimki odaya giriyor. Bizim sanatçı o sırada bu buraya giriyor. Bunlar buraya asılı galiba. Artık burada yapıyor.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room. But the vandalism was a cover for the theft.
Vay vay. Bir soralım biz. Herkes çok küçük. Ne çaldı? Buraya unutmuştuk, oyun bizim için kalmamış.
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
Bu ne ya?
The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
Çürümeyle ilgili eser gördüm. Ölümle ilgili eser gördüm. Büyük bir şey vardı mesela. Neler ona? Köpek balığı çürümüş. Değildir. Bence. Ölüm mü çürümen?
It's a reflection on mortality. Nothing lasts forever, no beauty sustains itself, and everything succumbs to darkness. Am I right?
I don't know.
But that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many, filtered through the subjective mind. That forgetting, embellishing, lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying
Of.
to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
Reis ilginç bir oyun.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My. Your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
Bir odaya 30 kişi niye baskın
The
atar? Hala
fire
anlamadım.
was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the wild room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, He insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
What was depicted in the
Nasıl
piece?
bir tablo?
A bound woman wrapped in robes being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin, even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
Ya bak ya.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
Bak şu adresi. Bunu bulacağız. Bunu nerede bulabiliriz? Gazetede bulamayız. Bence burada.
I think I'll leave the exhibition in its current state for a while. I'll call it The Art of Vandalism.
Tap tap tap tap tap. Tiyatro lan burada. Dur.
Have you found anything helpful?
Mr. Holmes, I have something. Mr. Holmes, I see what you're up to. Mysterious stranger pursues betrothed woman. But please, let us keep things professional. I have in my possession an envelope containing details of a special assignment for you. Tell me, are you interested?
I believe
Vallahi
I am,
yani.
but to be very clear, Miss Sertle, my interest extends to the message and not the messenger.
So he claims he's not a gal sneaker, seducing women everywhere he goes. Perhaps the truth is even more scandalous?
Please spare me the speculation and return to the matter at hand.
A gang of smugglers, the Eels, have Cordona in their clammy grip. The British Empire can abide it no longer. Mycroft insists they be disbanded. But this organization only falls with the capture of their odious leader, Friedrich Panzer. And note well, I did say capture, not kill. Inside your envelope is a map marked with the Eels' warehouses. But alas, We do not know in which Friedrich Panzer resides.
So even Mycroft has his limits.
Indeed. You must be sure to identify the correct warehouse before entering, because once one is compromised, the other's occupants will scatter. Here are all the files, and feel free to use the archive too. Again, do not enter the wrong location, nor see any harm done to Friedrich Panzer.
Miss Ertl, if you're quite done with the redundant instructions, I shall get to work.
Well, that's perfect. Tortured hero lashes out after rejected romance. Tomorrow's edition will be a sensation.
Evet, işin gücünü sınav olacak derseniz. Belki. Bilmiyorum. Geçtiğimiz hafta dizi sanatlarının sözlü sosyetesiyle ilgili yeni bir skandal ortaya kalktı. Her şey yerel sanatçılardan Özden Kundansı olarak bilinen bir sanatçının tablosu ulaşıldı. Aslan Özden Kundansı. Ne laf yapmışlar lan. Güzelmiş. Oğlum buna ananı avradı. Ama artık bununla uğraşabilir. Demiş. Charlotte ile Lincoln. Lincoln nerede? Diyebilirim. Nereden bahsediyor ya? Belki de adam akıllı bir dünya var açıkçası. Allah Allah. Buradan gidelim. Bak şöyle gidelim ya. Bu tiplemeyi bulması zaten kolaydır. Gidelim. Gidelim. Kenar noktası da ortadan çekiyor. Nerede oldu? Ne yapıyorsun ya?
We never met.
You're never too old to play hopscotch. Are you brave enough to play our hard version on the stairs of the watchtower?
Ha, yani buradan hafiften gideyim mi? Yani içinde mi lan? Bir dakika.
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, ma'am. I'm looking for the.
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police. No visitors allowed.
Ben de bizim okçu gibi giyinirim. Ha. Bak. Kendimi tutmak çok zor olmaz herhalde. Ben şu kapçıyı beklettim benzetim de. Öyle girelim yani içeri.
Don't pass. Let's pick something that suits you.
Ha. Ha.
A good choice.
Artık tüyörcüye benziyorum.
Good choice indeed.
Don't miss out on the best carpets on the island.
Ya ablacım aldım ya seni. Ablamı adanın en zengini yaptım. Her türlü kumaş aldım. Hala bana kumaş satma da benim. Ticaret vesaire yapıyorum. Gözün bakayım. Evet. Yanlış oldu. Ne istiyorsun? Niye o kadar kastım? Bir dakika.
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah, old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
How are you, ma'am? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake, how many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock, and I won't fall for those cow eyes. Do you know what makes a lady happy? Paid rent.
Dara Holmes. Oo.
The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material. Look at this,
Yeah.
John. Isn't it our stolen demon?
Buna bakacağım da en son.
Red skin, tails on the back, reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting. The blood has dried.
Aa, burada
I've heard of
resim.
this style of painting. It is called
Anons.
expressionism.
Biz kafadan hiç iyi değiliz var ya.
I wonder where he got that fancy camera. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching. It appears the wine was truly awful.
Arada espri yapıyor. Adam ölmüş gitmiş esprisini yapıyor.
Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here. The chest has been searched.
Nasıl bir tarikat, nasıl bir birleşim, nasıl bir kod, ne ya? Böyle ya şuna bakışırken sıçamazsın bu arada, yok öyle bir şey.
The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife.
Suradır o.
Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags. Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days. A normal kitchen knife. Could be the murder weapon.
Canlandıralım bakalım. Karpuz tarihin ilk photoshop'unu yapmaya çalışıyordu. Burada kurcalamış. Ha, olur. Allah uzatı çarptı. Sen bana mı şu koy göndereceksin?
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him. It's time for some chemical magic, John.
Kimyasal analiz. Kandan kurtulalım bakalım. Bana bitti. Niye böyle bir şey yaptın? Evet. Bundan dolayı.
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl, she was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. And I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those. They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat. And don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Phew. Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
Burası sana da hiç yakışmıyor. Ha, hadi böyle. Nasıl yapalım?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
My friend, I know nothing. I'm sorry.
Do you know anything about this?
Nobody cares about us. So why should we care about anybody?
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
Arkadaşlar mı lazım? Bu buraya sormayalım. Bu Eskişehir'e gelir. Neredeydi oğlum? Madenin çıkmasında bir yerde. Bence. Ya da buradadır. Ya da buradadır.
Do you know anything about this?
You had better take a bath before talking to a lady.
Aa, yapalım.
May I ask for your assistance?
I won't help you, sir.
Polis olarak soralım.
Can I ask you a question?
Ah, officer, I wish I could help.
Yani şu Allah'ın belası şey için yapmadığım kalmadı. Ne bu? Yunan kültürü. Sezar. Ama peynir. Böyle. Nasıl?
Beasts!
Murderers!
They're completely livid.
First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Drop them all into the sea!
Do you know anything about this?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here. So I
Sen
have
çok
full
açık
authority
tenlisin
here to
ya.
ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
Bir rengin akmış gibi ya. Böyle. Ben buranın adamı değilsin. Tamam. Adam. Pencere ya.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are you? Consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
Bana yardım
I
ederim
can help you
aslan.
to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest. But in return, I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
Mr. Harlow,
Nasıl
how
geldi
did the
buraya?
refugees end up here exactly?
Oh, so you're not from around here yourself?
I've been away for some time, but I read the papers.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now. They were smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Then why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even certain as to which ship it was. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out what to do with them. I only hope we'll find a humane solution and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do and what I am responsible for are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every city hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
The police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the island, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
Gönder beni o gibi şey.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewksbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
Beasts!
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Adı üstünde mülteciye o kadar değer
Who the
verdi.
hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow, let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewksbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees, at least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Başkasını doğradılar mı?
And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body? 0.
O ne lan?
Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently.
Tamam. Buradan
A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal. Clearly a left handprint here.
benden önce polisin gelmesini haber ediyorum ya. Her şey böyle sınıflandırıyor. Ben işimi kolaylaştırıyor.
Police boots. Always happy. A heavy boot with a worn out sole. A man's footprint.
Oh.
Carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. It might have been used as an improvised weapon. No hint of blood or impact. The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike.
O ne lan?
Someone was dragged against their will.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately.
Yes, yeah.
He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
Bakarız. Aradım
Malpal,
suyu.
soaked with salt water.
Aradım o zaman.
£1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? A steel dirk, sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here.
Yeah. Bizimki dergi yakandan yok mu?
Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping John. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. A violent death. This man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside
If
the
they
camp in
find
the
out
first
about
place?
the passage, everything will go to hell.
Sherry, just look at this. Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea?
Oğlum boş
If they
ver.
find out about the passage. If they find out.
We've got to fall
Adam
back,
çok
Sherlock.
kral
I think they're suspicious. Or they were checking you out.
If they find out about the Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the camp a little more thoroughly.
Bir oluyor burada ama. Bir bakalım.
Nausea and stomach pain is not what he needs now. I can use this to stop the infection from spreading. Just wash. Better than nothing to bandage the wound.
Hadi ya, bu da sıcak su.
I'll use it to create a solution. I've plated all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
Tabii canım, annemize ver. Bunu yan edecektir. Bir. Tamam.
Thank you.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Yes.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Is this familiar to you?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Back off.
Yeter mi?
You still here?
I'll just look around and do my paperwork. You won't even notice me.
I wish.
Aykut, Vogel'ın galerisine de gitti. Mülteci kampındaki ölü adam, Vogel'ın galerisine giren kişi. Ziyaretçi Marcus'u öldürmek istemedi. Hırsızın amacı Marcus'u öldürmek değil. Ziyaretçi fotoğrafı aramış olabilir. Ziyaretin niyeti galiba bu korkunç fotoğrafı bulmakmış. Galeri hırsızı Marcus'un dairesindeki Marcus'un katili ve galeri hırsızı aynı. Hırsız fotoğrafı istiyordu. Hırsız Marcus'un dairesinde fotoğrafı çalmaya girişti. Ama bulamadı. Ve ressamı da nefis müdafaa ile öldürdü. Tamam, buna en son bakacağım.
No, it's too short for these walls or cliffs. Sealed shut. I doubt our man could get through these grates. It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards.
Acaba biri mi içeri aldı?
A single Malpal butt. Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
Ya peki.
Excuse me, just one question.
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Do you know anything about this?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Time to check your... Who, what, and what,
Can you satisfy my
Sherry?
curiosity?
Who are you asking
Unfortunately, my
about
casebook is
what
empty on
and
this.
dressed as what?
Help me, please.
Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking about what and dressed as what?
Can I ask you a question?
Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
Could you help me?
Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherry.
Ne bir şey değil.
You sure you know what you're doing?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
Are you able to help me?
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
Back off. Back off.
No one deserves to end up in a place like this.
Ver bakalım ne olmuş.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Nasıl ya?
You're not even trying,
Tamam.
Sherry. Concentrate.
Eli buraya geldi. Ayağı kasalara çarptı. Doğru. Doğru. Burada mı?
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Buradan sürükleyerek alıyor.
You're not
Oyun
even
olsa bunu
trying,
değiştireceğim.
Sherry. Concentrate.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
Sorayım ben.
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clerk can make any...
Who knows,
still
John?
here?
Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
Kaç sorun var lan?
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads. You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
May I ask for your assistance?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
May I ask for your assistance?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherry. You sure you know what you're doing?
Vereceğiz. Tam adam şey yapacağını biliyordu ya. Kendi adamların ne bakıyor biliyor. Evet, dur. Böyle ikisi amacı var bir şeyler var.
Could you help me?
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
Ben de tarafım Osman. Verdiğimiz. Ben de direkt abime gidelim. Beğendim.
Help me, please.
Sorry. We don't see much here.
Could you help me?
Sorry. We don't see much here.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Nayla? My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Nayla, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh,
Hey,
glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Nayla doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
Nasıl suçlandı? Evet. Anons. Çıkarken temiz oldu. Neyse. Gerçekten doğru bakarken. Burada videoyu kapatalım. Evet. Beyler benler. Küçük hanımefendiler ve küçük beyefendiler. Bu videoyu buraya kadar izlediyseniz sizi canı gönülden tebrik ederim ve teşekkür ederim. Videonun yükleniş saatlerini değiştirdim. Yani günlerini değiştirdim. Artık haftada 4 değil. 3 video geliyor. Çünkü video üretmek zor. Ciddiyim zor. Hani biliyorsunuz da ben ne var? Açıyorum. 1 saat oynuyorum. Kapatıyorum. 1 saat açtık. 1 saat yükleniyor. Beklenmesini yapıyor. İstediğini yapabilirim yani. Bunun bana bir hükmü yok. Ama 1 saatte kapak hazırlama, efendim açıklama yapmak çok işi sürüyor. Şu an kapak hazırlıyorum. Durumda değilim. Ve şu an bir vlog yapma durumundayım. Yakında çok yoğun bir sınav dönemi geliyor. Ona için bir ön hazırlık.